Alright, yes.
Welcome, everybody! I'm doing the intro! Do you not see my intro arms? Welcome, everybody, to Blissfully Aware, the show in which three opinionated people discuss what's going on in fandom and nerd news in general. I am Bliss, and as always, I am joined by my two lovely co-hosts, Kelty and Kendra.
Hello.
Hello.
So, y'all, new year, same old, same old.
Mm-hmm.
Was it really, Bliss? Was it the same old, same old?
No, I guess it wasn't.
This was some kind of new, fresh hell, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But so I thought it would be fun for us to go through some of the big fandom discourses of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
For this episode, a nice look back on the special kind of hell that we live in.
Nice.
The new sort of normal.
Yeah. And to help us along this journey, I have a document that was recommended to me by Sprite Lady. They asked that we cold react to this document, and since none of us have actually read it, that works. So it's by Liz Course Rants, or Discourse Catharsis over on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. And
it is described as, this document is a summary of the situations that are happening this year in 2020 due to the behavior of anti-shippers and fandom police. It contains the more serious incidents in fandom involving harassment, etc.
Alright, so should we establish what a anti and or fandom police is?
Yes, please.
Okay, so, briefly, because I know no one will be satisfied with this definition, but briefly, an anti in fandom is short for anti-shipper. And it means that basically a ship that is not up to your standards of purity or morality is not only bad, but gives you the right to go harass others and, force your opinions onto them and make their lives miserable if they do ship that thing. For the record, the definitions of what these people consider to be morally reprehensible are extremely fluid.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where two adults can be called a pedophilic ship because one is slightly older than the other.
Or just taller.
Or taller, yeah. If one is too short, then they are, quote, child-coded, and liking them is a hidden expression of one's own inner pedophilic desires, you see. So that's the sort of level of intellectual honesty we're working with here. This is like QAnon. These are not people genuinely concerned with defending children from child abuse or anything like that. They just sort of take on the mantle of this noble claim, this, noble endeavor, because they get their rocks off on having ship wars with people on Twitter, which is really sad and pathetic. But also, fandom is so much bigger now than it used to be. Ship wars back in the day were, a couple hundred people. It can now be thousands of people on Twitter. And, because, I don't know, kids today are dumb and have everything on Facebook, it's pretty fucking easy to find out where you live and find out where you work and call your fucking boss and say, hey, did you know so-and-so's a pedophile? And just make inflammatory claims with no evidence whatsoever. So, okay, so with all that preamble out of the way, let's dig into some of the greatest anti-hits of this year of our Lord Satan 2020. The first one I actually recognize. This kid, Night in Gem. I totally will throw down on pro-shippers.
Yeah, this fucking guy.
I remember their doofy fucking icon.
Yeah.
They don't use this account anymore, so I don't feel bad about just naming it, but yeah.
So yeah, in January, an auntie openly talks about hurting people.
Here's the thing. Like I said, a lot of aunties like to appropriate the trappings of woke rhetoric and identity politics rhetoric. Again, that they learned in their one semester of gender studies from university, and then was repeated like a game of telephone on Tumblr for 10 years. So none of these kids know actual theory about what they're talking about.
No.
But because they like to be woke, a lot of them, you know, in their bios or, like, briefly will say things like, all cops are bastards, or defund the police, or whatever. And so the initial tweet says something, basically, that I don't think creators of problematic content or actual pedophiles, two different things, should ever be jailed because of their general anti-carceral stance. They don't believe that these sorts of social problems, and, like, to be clear, actual pedophilia and child abuse are hugely problematic, no air quotes, social problems.
Yeah.
That need to be dealt with. They just don't think that the carceral nature of the justice system is the best way to do it.
No, it's not.
And so then our auntie barges in, and you can agree with that, or not agree with that. That is just their opinion that they were sharing on their Twitter.
I personally agree with that, but I also don't think that, you know, pro-shippers should be jailed for any reason.
No, but they made a distinction of
They did.
problematic content and actual pedophilia.
Yes.
Two different things.
They did, yes. I was just saying that one of those does deserve rehabilitation in some way, and the other kind of doesn't.
No.
But that's fine. That's not important.
And so our auntie barges in and says, okay, basically, they're like,
You know
just
that
if anyone, if you
Navy
ever
SEAL
were a
copy
child
pasta from
pedophilia, I
4chan?
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little like that. It's like, come at me, scrub lord, I'm ripped, I'll beat up every pedophile, like, I will absolutely 100% use violence to compel these people to my way of thinking. And everyone kind of responded like, don't? Like, that's bad. Like, even beating up, like, assaulting an actual pedophile in the street is a crime.
Don't do that.
Like, that's still assault. So, you know,
How about
don't be violent
Don't.
and carceral. But it's also, you know, counter to this whole all cops are bastards, defund the police sort of image that you like to project.
Yeah. That's my favorite.
You know,
is that
all cops are bastards except when it's, you know, fanfic I don't like.
all cops are bastards except me, I'm the good cop. Is what aunties
Yeah,
seem to
basically.
have,
This
because
this is the cognitive dissonance.
I actually had a conversation with somebody, like, I'm not gonna say their name because I, first off, don't know it, and secondly, they probably still use that account, but it was this really great moment where in their bio they said ACAB, which is all cops are bastards, for those of you listening who don't know. But then when I said something in defense of pro-shipping, they said, why aren't you in jail? And my response was, I guess because all cops are bastards. And then they blocked me.
That's funny, babe.
Zing.
But, like, this is just the thing that's weird to me. That's the mentality they seem to have, where it's like, all cops are bastards, but I would be a good cop.
Except me, yeah. I would turn this precinct around.
And I have news for you, kid. If you're putting people in jail because of what they're doing in fiction, you're not good.
You will never be the good cop. Anyway, 2, I don't know about.
So, 2. Fandom police spread uncensored, explicit tweets to warn others.
Definitely.
Oh boy.
That's not... I mean, I'm not sure I would specifically say that there was only one instance of that.
There's
Sure,
definitely
no,
not.
this
I'm
is-
not sure that I would say even that January is the first time that happened, or January whatever day is supposed to be the first time that this happened this year. I think that's kind of hard to, I think that's a little hard to pin down.
No, that definitely
But yeah.
happens all the time. People hilariously make these, like, quote, warning tweets about, like, watch out for this person. Look at the disgusting art they post. And then we'll just post the art.
Yeah.
Just post the porn that these people draw without
no
warning.
warnings.
Or without censoring it. Like, and I don't know what these people think when they're like, they start the tweet in all caps, you know, warning pornography. But that's not the way Twitter works. Like, Twitter shows you a thumbnail of the image before you ever click it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if this photo is cropped properly, you're just gonna see a big old cock or titties or
Yeah.
something.
Especially because the algorithm, like, randomly decides what the photo's gonna show you.
That happens all the fucking time.
And, like, I get, like, because I blacklist certain words. I don't blacklist pornography, but I blacklist certain words. So, like, that tweet might not show up on somebody's feed who, like, has it blacklisted.
Does Twitter have its own blacklist now, or do you still have to download a third-party script?
You still have to download a third-party script.
There you go.
No, you don't.
No, you don't?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, you do? Oh.
Yeah.
Right. Oh,
Stupid Twitter. It's been 10 years. You should fix that.
right. I have TweetDeck. I forgot.
I was like, babe, it does.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
So the second one is about, the third one is about the Voltron fandom. And boy
Okay.
howdy, did you know that the Voltron series finale aired like 3 years ago?
Yeah.
You sure fucking
Yep.
wouldn't, based on the way that the fucking fandom carries on about it.
Woo!
I learned that recently. I was like, that must have happened last year, because they're still big mad about it.
No.
No, it was like in 2017.
I should specify the way that antis go on about it, not really the fans of it they continue talking about their show and what they did like about it, and that doesn't bother anybody.
But that's the thing, like, this to me seems like a similar fandom to Supernatural, where the majority, if not all of the fandom, is grouped into these two boring sides of shipping.
Yeah.
Like, it just kind of like it was the Wincest shippers versus Destiel, it's Sheath versus Clance, I think.
Yep.
Sorry.
just
I'm
stupid.
sorry, those names are stupid.
Well, it's a portmanteau.
Those both just sound like actual character names from the show.
They do.
It's Shiro Keith and
Keith Lance. The
Fine.
character of Keith is like the hinge in this love triangle that people argue about. From what I have seen of the fandom, the Clance shippers are insane.
Yeah,
are
they're bonkers.
absolutely fucking bonkers. And like the Sheath shippers are not without sin, obviously. Like, ship wars get nasty, but like Clance shippers
I ship Clance.
no, that's fine. But like their ship is more around hating the Shiro Keith ship.
The other ship.
Like, there was an incident where a girl, like a teenage girl who was babysitting these two kids, filmed the children with her phone of them saying Sheath is pedophilia, and then uploaded it to the internet without their parents' knowledge. So she just straight up had two minors that she was in control of say that. So yeah, like stuff like that, like next level fandom insanity stuff.
Yeah.
So that's it for me. You're the crazier ship at that point.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you can do to rehabilitate your image.
Yeah. And like, it gets worse.
Yeah, but so it looks like someone was kicked out of contributing to like a fun cookbook scene because they shipped Shiro Keith, which is just super petty.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, and the zine was canceled because people stepped down and they sort of left a non-apology, but they never addressed, like, the allegations.
Let's see here. The 10th. Anti-shippers threaten a shipper meetup.
Oh, I remember
Oh
this.
yeah, another Voltron one for
Yeah.
the Sheath fandom, and Clance fans, like, called in a bomb threat or something?
Yeah.
Or threatened to shoot up this
They
fan
threatened to
view?
shoot them up. They threatened to come in and shoot them up. Yeah. Made jokes, quote unquote, threatening harm to attendees there too, because many in attendance were Shaladin shippers.
Whatever that is.
I don't know what that means. Just try not to kill anybody?
Try doing fewer bomb threats.
Yeah.
Maybe. Just,
Maybe have fun not doing that.
yeah.
An artist on the 14th is accused of having a pedophilic ship and gets sent suicide baiting messages. Ends up in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's happened more than once. That happened a couple years ago in the Steven Universe fandom.
Uh-huh.
There's a character in Steven Universe, Rose Quartz, who is drawn as, like, pretty heavy. Like, most of the art in Steven Universe is kind of round and squishy looking.
Soft.
Yeah, but she is, like, drawn as a plus-size woman. And an artist drew her too skinny, and people harassed her so much that she attempted suicide and ended up in the hospital.
Yep. Also, I should point out, this also happened to a friend of ours, who I won't name, but she cosplayed her, and they were like, you're too skinny to cosplay Rose Quartz, go kill yourself.
Well, now she's problematic, so...
Oh, is she? Okay. Well, I mean,
Okay.
you want to talk about scary fandoms. For being
Yeah.
such a cute and wholesome show, the fandom around Steven Universe is the ugliest I have seen in a long time.
Yeah, well, until Voltron, at least.
Until Voltron, yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't hear about this one. sharing video of an 18 plus cosplay event.
I'm seeing that one too.
Fandom police take a video from an Instagram of an 18 plus event at a con. The Boku no Hero Academia cosplayer doing a striptease routine and shared it on Twitter. According to replies from people who were at this event, IDs were checked at the door, plus all in attendance had to sign a waiver. Fandom police threw a fit because one of the participants was cosplaying Deku, which, if I know my anime correctly, that's the main character, the boy who ate a bunch of hair.
Yeah,
Oh my
I think
god,
so.
what?
Well, so, yeah, the really, short summary is the main character had no special superhero ability, and a superhero was like, here, eat a strand of my hair, I can pass on my power to you.
Yeah.
So, that's how he gets his superpowers.
Very anime. Okay.
Yeah, that's no offense, but that is very anime. But yeah,
So-
he's like 17 or something, right?
I don't know, at this point they're all perpetually 17. He looks like he's 12.
Yeah.
Anime.
It's anime, so that's hard to pin down.
So, replies include joking about bullying and committing hate crimes.
Yes, wanting to send someone to the electric chair.
Yes.
Seeing that.
At one point, the fandom police who posted the video on Twitter linked to an additional Instagram video where the person doing the striptease gets naked.
Because that's what a striptease is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's an 18 plus event, so let them do whatever the fuck they want. This
Yeah.
is literally what they're complaining about, is that 18-year-olds and older need to go away and away from them.
And so they
And
did.
so they did. And then they posted a video of it on Twitter
It
anyway.
still wasn't good enough.
Untagged to...
Apparently, some fandom police also claimed this cosplayer looked underage.
Oh, yeah, back to the whole if you're short, it's pedophilia argument.
Yeah. AO3 blocked in China, and fandom police who hate AO3 celebrate the news.
Yes, I do
I remember that one.
Which is outrageous because, the Chinese government regularly jails women who write queer literature of any kind. And so, the all cops are bastard, defund the police sorts were like, I'm so happy that queer people and women are being jailed in China.
Yeah, that was something.
Very logically consistent position to hold.
For anybody who isn't aware, AO3 is Archive of Our Own. It's just a fanfic hosting site. The fanfic hosting site.
And it's very good because it's nonprofit and has lawyers so that we don't have to start all of our fics with disclaimers anymore.
And Rice can't sue us anymore.
And Rice can't sue us.
And also, AO3 in a huge way was a huge site with Chinese users because it was a refuge for queer literature and literature by women. Like the tweet says, I can't even begin to describe its importance to Chinese users. It's not mainstream like Douban, but in China it's a refuge for literature created by and for women, which is just not something that is as available.
And then these people...
And then, aunties are happy about it.
Having access to AO3 as a teenager, this one person says, did so much damage to me, and AO3 themselves refused to do anything about all the fucked up content there. So I'm not going to defend them. LMAO. I don't give a fuck about your fanfic. That sure is missing the point entirely.
AO3 is to blame for why you're a shitty person.
Yeah, not for nothing, but I had access to way worse fanfic sites when I was a teenager and younger, and I'm not this insane, so really, who's the problem?
The 26th of March, an artist is accused of drawing child pornography and bullied to the point of deleting their Twitter account for drawing Animal Crossing porn.
Oh.
Is anyone in Animal Crossing a child?
No.
No, I mean, if you're old enough to take a loan out from Tom Nook.
Even his nephews are adults,
Adults,
right?
yeah, I think so.
They run the shop.
They run a shop. They're smaller, I guess, than Tom Nook.
Well, it looks like it was more than his nephews, too. It wasn't just the Nook boys.
I also have something to say. If it's an animal, then it fucking... You can't apply human rules to it. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. This is going back to, and this argument's been around for a while.
It is,
but it's coming back now. Where are furries zoophiles?
They're really not.
The answer is obviously no, because if you've ever seen furry art, it doesn't look anything like a real fucking animal.
That's not a wolf that they're attracted to.
It looks like a cartoon raver. I'm sure there is crossover.
I'm sure, but like,
I don't think by necessity. God damn it. Yeah, this one about how, literally about what we were saying earlier, March 6th, an auntie happily talks about how they love threatening the livelihoods of queer artists / freaks.
Oh, fun.
Quote, I love threatening the livelihood of queer artists. Read freaks. Actually, and I will dance on a pile of their money I've set on fire while I do it. So there is just sort of the mask off homophobia.
Yeah.
Like,
on the 30th, a fandom cop contacts someone's mother about their supernatural fanfic, and the writer ended up in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
No kidding.
I do
if someone
remember that.
ever called my mom about fanfic I wrote as a teenager, I would have ended up in the hospital too.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently this Twitter user named Sin posted about being bored and wanting to dox someone in their fandom. So they sent this person's mother a message claiming that their kid was writing pedophilic fanfiction along with some screen caps of the person's AO3 fics and tweets.
Oof.
And Sin's response was, I'm supposed to feel sorry for that bitch? I don't.
Like, maybe it's just because I grew up, like, just before social media happened.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook came out while I was in high school and shit. When all of these kids grow up, this is gonna be bad, right? They're gonna have all of this horrible evidence about what shitty people they are on the internet forever. I hated teenagers when I was a teenager. Like, I fucking hated them, and I hate them now, and I don't think I'll ever stop hating them.
No.
But how do you go and then, like, be a boring, mediocre member of society after this with a 9 to 5? Like, these are the kind of people who hit their kids, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, these people who are so cavalier about violence being inflicted on people they don't even know or see and have nothing to do with them, these are the kind of people who actually should be kept away from children.
Well into the end of April, we're still on Animal Crossing porn. It just keeps getting more upsetting for aunties.
It's very popular in Japan. This has been popular for a long time, actually, to do something called gijinka. I am probably pronouncing that wrong, but gijinka is when you take a non-human character and you imagine them as a human. So, like, it's really popular with Pokemon among Japanese artists.
Those are cute.
To do Pokemon gijinka. Like, imagine what, fucking Meowth or Sandshrew or Oddish would look like as a human.
Yeah, those are cute.
Gloom would probably be like a stoner of some kind.
Gloom would look like me
Yep.
when I wake up.
And so someone did it with Timmy and Tommy, what looks to be like someone whose English is not their first language on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
They have this really cute Timmy and Tommy art where they're like two jacked dudes in their... And because they don't wear clothes on Animal Crossing, they're just in their tiny little aprons. And it's cute. It's kind of like a beefcake firefighter calendar type thing. And, like, American teenagers just descend on her with hatred. It's so awful.
Yeah, that's not okay, man.
If you scroll down to the 19th, everybody starts freaking out about Daisy May now. The little pig girl. The turnip girl, because someone did a cosplay which was apparently sexualizing her, which, looking at it, it's a great cosplay, and she's just pretty. I don't see how that's...
The sexual thing is that she's a grown woman who has tits, I guess.
Yeah.
And the fact that she didn't bother to strap them down for this, like, very casual cosplay.
Oh, there's somebody in these comments that sounds like my dad. Makes me laugh how in the comments people are attacking those who are saying this, telling them it's not her fault that her cleavage is showing, when it's clear she's purposefully trying to show it off.
Oh, she's asking for it.
She's asking for it.
Oh, nice. Oh, on the 29th of April, a Raylo shipper posts about a toxic, abusive relationship she was in.
Oh, remember? Yes, apparently what happened is that there was a guy in the Star Wars fandom who was just, shitty and skeevy to this girl. She's a outspoken Raylo, and maybe this isn't the one I'm thinking about, because several anti-Raylos responded being like, isn't that what you want?
Yeah.
Meaning, don't you want to be abused because you ship Rey and Kylo Ren in Disney's Star Wars?
Fandom police on Instagram organize a group chat to report pedophilic artists, big air quotes, in the JoJo community.
Yeah, poor JoJo community, man. They get fucked over really good.
Are there children in that show?
I have no idea. I don't know what it's about.
I don't think so.
Okay, more anime fandoms I don't know about.
A therapist makes a thread about fandom police. The next day she's harassed so badly she has to lock her account.
The usual. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, lawyers, therapists, child sexual abuse survivors speak out against antis as saying, in fact, what people do in fanfiction is not illegal. You can write basically anything. And so long as you are not purporting it, like, to be true about someone, in which case it's slander, and mental health professionals often chime in saying the use of fiction to explore one's trauma, and even to explore one's sexuality, to explore one's own identity, is good, actually, because it is in a space where no harm can be done, because nothing is real. And when trying to explain that to antis, along with people who have these sorts of traumas and engage with fiction this way, or even if they don't have these sorts of traumas and engage with fiction this way, yeah, the straw man reply is just, but how can you defend pedophilia? Like, that's what it all boils down to, because they don't have an actual retort to that sort of line of argumentation. I gotta mention this one. The 25th of May, someone makes a call-out post about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show staff drawing Rule 34 on their private. So this is a thing that's older than the internet, literally. Cartoon animators have been drawing porn of their characters forever, like way back in the Betty Boop days.
Oh yeah.
And like, I think
that's how Betty Boop was created.
Yeah, and like, I'm pretty sure, like, I think it's Ed, and Eddie, like the creator of that, drew so much porn of those characters.
Yeah.
And like, it was awful because the art style of Ed, and Eddie is really gross.
And back then, the guards on, like, you know, only things that are general audiences, that didn't work as well.
Oh yeah.
Like, putting the porn blockers on Google didn't work as well. And I saw so much double D taint. And I didn't want...
I wish you hadn't said that out loud. I wish I could take that out of my ears.
Shut the fuck up.
I need a palate cleanser. Let's cut for ads. Ads! Okay. Please continue.
This one, too. I've noticed this is very common, is people being like, cyberbullying isn't real, just turn off your phone. But then the fan fiction is real somehow. And if you point that out to them, they get really mad. And then they, you know, block you.
Yeah, because my feels are reals.
Yeah.
Your feels are not reals.
And, like, I'm sorry, but bullying is real. Bullying...
Like, I don't know why cyberbullying is a word. I don't know why it's just not bullying.
It's just bullying.
It's
You're
just
bullying somebody.
To make it sexy and hip.
Like, when the telephone was invented, did people call it telebullying? If you would call someone and be like, you're ugly and no one likes you. Like,
fuck you. Click.
Yeah, like, it's just bullying. The tool with which you use to bully someone is immaterial in my understanding.
Yeah, it is to me too. I don't really get it. Bullying is bullying, and it's bad.
Like, it's more... Well, I don't know. I'm not going to say that it's more damaging, but it's scarier, to me at least, because a lot of people my age and younger put absolutely everything about themselves on the internet. So yeah, like, if you have a fight with someone on the internet, they can go find your parents or your place of business or anything and just call them up. And, like, that's a bad idea, guys. Like, you shouldn't give that information away to strangers. For any reason. Okay, I want to bring up this one, because this was a big one this year. Because a few times this year, actual content creators and celebrities became the target of antis and their hate brigades. Particularly in July of this year when Avatar: The Last Airbender, which originally aired in 2007, got put on Netflix and sort of introduced a whole new generation of kids and teenagers and young adults to this really, really, really great show. It is a children's show, but it is accessible to children, but it's wonderfully made, it's beautifully animated, the writing is good. I've said a few times, it's one of the only shows I could think of in the last 10 years or longer that ended satisfactorily, like had a good ending that resonated and felt like it completed the story. So anyway.
Also the only redemption arc that I can think of that was actually like a redemption arc.
Yes. Yeah. It was a redemption arc where the redeemed person got to then live and grow and didn't have to pay for their redemption with their life. Zutara, the ship between Zuko and Katara, is popular, and the voice actor for Zuko, like, either tweeted something or said something in passing that was like, yay Zutara fans, because he voices Zuko, he voices one of the characters in that ship, and I'm sure it was fun to have fans who cared so very much about his character, like, who cared about this character that he was voicing and that he was putting, like, all of this work into. And for the record, I'm pretty sure that these characters are 16 and 18.
At the start.
No, at the end, because he's 16 at the start.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Katara is 14 at the start.
Oh, right. Yeah,
and Zuko is 16. And then at the end, they're either 18 and 16 or 17 and 19. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
because
I think you're right.
It's about 1 year per season, and there are 3 seasons. I think Sokka Sokka, her older brother, is Zuko's age, and I think Aang is 12 or 13 at the start.
12. Yeah.
So anyway, people see that he says something positive about this huge ship that's been part of the fandom for over 10 years, and they are big mad because he's a pedophile, because he likes the idea that there could be a romance between this 16-year-old and this 18-year-old, and like that.
It's a magical realm.
Yeah,
by the
like
way.
they're finding a secret pedophile. Like this whole time he was hiding in plain sight, I guess.
It's a magical realm that seems kind of medieval in a lot of its.
Yeah, it's like a vaguely feudal society. It seems like people probably get married in their early 20s, like not like super young, but younger than we get married now, usually.
Yeah. Not like Game of Thrones young, but still young.
Man, if I ever get to be a voice actor, which has been a childhood dream, and there is an opportunity to ship my character with a different character, I'ma do it.
Oh yeah! I would express, like, a super love of every ship that included my character.
Oh yeah, and I need to point this out, too. Dante Bosco is, I don't want to say only, but he is one of the only voice actors of color in this show. Despite the characters being, I think, entirely non-white. Like, there are some people who argue that, like, Suki might be white. We'll just,
think so.
She's got like blue eyes and like pink cheeks and lips and stuff.
Maybe.
But whatever. It is an Asian-inspired medieval society with different elements, like from China, from Japan, from the Inuit, from Southeast Asia. And all of the animated characters are non-white. Most of the voices are white, except for Dante Bosco, who is Filipino, Mako, who is who was a Japanese actor who was famous in like old kung fu movies from the 70s and 80s, who actually died during the production of the show. So he was Uncle Iroh's voice, and his that's why he's not around too much in season 3, because they had to get someone to like copy his voice. And also there's a small bit part character that Serena Williams plays, because she mentioned it was her favorite show, and so they were like, you should come do a voice, and so she did.
She was so happy.
Yeah.
It was so cute.
And so it is, somewhat revealing that they decided to target one of the only non-white actors on this show and slander him as a pedophile. That's not great.
Just pointing that out.
Yeah, this particular tweet. Petition to put him down.
Yeah.
Love that. Definitely not racist.
No, definitely not a little genocidal. Also, the man is 44 now, so he would have been in his very early 30s when he did this voice, but someone saying that he deserves to be put into a retirement home because he's too old to care about this, I guess. Because
Man, I hope he ships it into his 90s.
So yeah, he would have been 31 when he first started doing this voice. And by the way, if you don't know, fun fact, he was Rufio in Hook.
Rufio! Rufio!
Yeah.
Rufio!
That's fun. It's always fun for me to tell people that, because most people I find have seen Hook, but like no one really remembers it, or no one talks about it a lot.
That's so weird to me. Hook was one of my, like, comfort movies growing
Hook is
up.
great.
How could anything bad happen in Ace Attorney?
I don't know. What are
I
you talking
thought
about?
that Ace Attorney was, like, over, like, 10 years ago.
Down on the 13th, yeah, but their fandom still persists.
Well,
It's just,
yeah.
it's always seems so, like,
Chill.
small anime fandom that's really chill.
Hasn't there been like a million games? They just like keep coming out with new ones, so I assume there's
Yeah.
always like a resurgence.
That's a fair point.
The ship between two unrelated adults, one character is 10 years older and adopted the other character's half-sister, but no one knew at the time and they didn't realize until later, apparently makes it incest.
Man, that's some anime shit.
That is some anime shit.
We're adopted half-siblings, but we didn't know. It's
Yeah.
like, it's a soap opera.
That's ridiculous. I really feel like people need to understand what words mean before they say them. Incest is kind of specific. It has to have certain aspects in order to be considered what it is, because language was created so that we could communicate.
Words mean things!
Okay, babe. I'm loving this, but I gotta bring this up, because this
Okay.
next one is bonkers.
Okay.
The 19th of July, I believe,
Yay, I was looking at this one too!
some minors in the fucking JoJo fandom try to hex, as in cast witchcraft, onto an artist that they've been harassing for months.
I know! Oh my god!
They try and do direct action witchcraft. That's a strategy they've landed on.
No.
So apparently you have to write down a list of stuff you want to say and, quote, focus your energy and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
Very precise witchcraft instructions.
Got it!
And stuff.
Pick a quiet place to cast your hex. Make sure you're actually comfy and can't be distracted.
You gotta be comfy.
Step 3. Wouldn't want to be uncomfortable during our witchcraft. Step 3. Carve the name of your person into the candle. You can also carve a sigil to represent them.
Oh, I know this witchcraft.
Well, I mean, a candle spell is very old. Like, that goes back to, like, medieval Europe.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, now it's just for fandom righteousness.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if there's more steps, because that's where the screen cap cuts out. Hang on, I'm gonna click the link.
Watch, it's been deleted.
I mean, some of them haven't. I'm surprised.
I know.
Like, some of the really insane ones have not been deleted.
And then I look at them and I'm just like, wow.
Okay, here we go.
Not been deleted.
Well, this is a screen cap of a tweet
Oh,
that's
okay.
mad at it, but, step 4, light your candle. Step 5, wrap the string around the photo of the person that you are hexing. Step 6, recite your spell 3 times. Make that whore go through hell.
No, this is interesting. The photo, the wrapping a string around the photo of the person you're hexing is optional OFC.
Of fucking course.
Of fucking course. Oh,
Optional portion of the witchcraft.
optional portion of the witchcraft. Not just optional, but we should all know it's optional. It's obviously optional.
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, like, half of this list is just anime fandom, you know, regular operating hours.
Another Raylo, tweet directed at Raylo shippers says their enemies to lovers ship is actual abuse apologism.
Yes,
Sure.
that's been around since 2015 when The Force Awakens came out.
Yeah.
Like, that's old hat at this point.
I
This
mean,
one I want to bring up, the 23rd of July, transphobes and TERFs agreeing with antis. This is kind of a new development.
Oof.
But it's because the anti-pornography rhetoric and anti, women being in charge of their own sexuality rhetoric overlaps a lot with trans exclusionary radical feminist rhetoric, which is an offshoot of second wave feminism, like I said earlier, like Andrea Dworkin, sort of. And at the base, this is a huge simplification of second wave feminism, but at the base of it is the argument that in a misogynist society, like the one we live in, a heterosexual woman can never consent to sex with a man because of the societal power that he holds over her. So even if she says yes, it's not really consent. It's like statutory rape, because he just wields so much societal power over her through misogyny that he is always too dominant of her for the consent to be freely given. And furthermore, any woman who disputes this and says, no, in fact, I consent to sex with men all the time and regularly enjoy it, has basically gaslit themselves into enjoying their own rape.
Oh, good.
So that is the second wave feminist take, hugely reducted. Please don't send me emails from your gender studies professor or whatever. I know that I'm abbreviating a lot of stuff. But that is the general takeaway.
My favorite part was the concept that any man I've ever slept with or done anything sexual with was dominant.
Yes. But apparently, Dworkin would argue, you are still being used as an object to fulfill their sexual fantasy of giving up their cultural dominance.
Sure, Dworkin.
I know. It's bullshit and wrong, and people have been saying it's wrong basically since it was first published.
Yeah.
But that's the gist. And so that's a lot of what TERF rhetoric still purports today, is that no woman can actually enjoy having sex with a man. This is where you get political lesbianism from. These women don't actually experience sexual attraction towards women. They just choose to endure it, I guess, because they think it conforms better to their politics.
Great. I love that.
Yeah, that's bad. And so you'll notice a lot of these concepts appear both in anti-ism and in TERFism. And so lately, particularly, I would say in the last half of this year, TERFs and antis have been hooking up more often and have been, organizing harassment for one another's causes more often. And it's interesting to see that turn up in this document, because I also personally have been noticing it just on my own time. And so I'm expecting soon, maybe in the next year or so, that anti-ism will just kind of get swallowed up by TERFism as a whole and just incorporated into that movement.
Which would be great, because then at least...
because at least most people right now hate TERFs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transgender rights are very on vogue right now, and I don't mean that in a way that they are not important or worthwhile. I just mean they are kind of at the forefront of the cultural discussion at the moment.
Not to be dismissive, just to be...
Not to be dismissive, just to acknowledge that the public has a very short attention span, and for the last year or so, it's been one of the major topics of, social conversation, I have noticed.
Which is good.
Which is good, and I would like to see further improvement on that.
Yes, me too.
Would be nice.
This is another one where, the actual event is the 24th. A tweet attacks a 16-year-old for thinking a 14-year-old anime character is hot. This one's been happening a lot, where, again, apparently the logic goes now that any sexualization, giant air quotes, of a minor is bad, even if you are also a minor. So, if you are a 14-year-old, finding other 14-year-olds attractive is pedophilia and problematic. And you should not want to act sexually against a minor, even though you are one, and going through puberty, and will never again be this horny in your life.
You're just horny all the time.
And you're
so sorry.
Angry about it, because you don't really know what it is yet, you're just figuring it out, your body's changing. apparently everyone has to wait till their 21st birthday to have sex, I guess.
No, because 21 can still be a minor if you're not having sex with only other 21-year-olds.
Yes.
And your parents sign a document saying it's okay.
Every year,
Mommy said I could.
everyone who turns 21 gets into a fuck pit with one another. And they lose their virginities all at the same time. And then now they're problematic adults. They're no longer innocent minors. They're now problematic adults, and that's the ritual.
That sounds great.
That's how it's like the opposite of a baptism. You get your sin added back
Cool.
instead of removed.
Can we do that for 32-year-olds?
Yeah.
We're not gonna be 32 for more than a couple months.
Fuck. Well, then we'll wait for next year. Do it at 33.
If you're getting in a fuck pit, I'm just saying, you better wait until I can get in that fuck pit. So we can do it together.
Good. Aww.
And here's a really sad one. This just reminds me of being a kid and being into dorky shit. But in the Boku no Hero Academia fandom, there's just a video someone took of kids in cosplay at a con being silly. And,
Oh, yeah.
like, someone just posted it as cringe. And someone says, you didn't get bullied because you watched anime, you got bullied because you acted like this. And, like, honestly, they just look like they're playing Ring Around the Rosie or something. Like, they're just kind of dancing on the sidewalk, they're not bothering anyone, they're not in anyone's way.
They're at a con.
They're at a con in their stupid fucking anime cosplay. And this is what being in fandom was like back in the day. Like, before everyone found out about it, kind of in 2010.
Thanks, Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Well, just thanks Tumblr, really. People, like, would say, wow, you're into nerd shit? Like, fuck you, freak. And then that was the end of the conversation, because, you know, I don't like things that are different.
Yeah.
If you're different from me, then I hate you. Like, you know, really basic middle school rhetoric like that. And there's just so many of them. Like, so many retweets being like, these kids should die. Like, we should punch them in the face. Like,
Yeah.
I want these kids and their kind to stop breathing forever.
And they're kind.
I swear, if I had a truck, I'd commit a drive-by shooting.
Why do you need a truck for a drive-by shooting? You can do that in a Honda. I don't condone drive-by shootings. I just didn't understand.
So yeah, on the 13th, someone makes a, quote, queer fetishization in fandom slideshow. You remember this one?
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yes!
Talking about specifically gay men and bisexual men. And then when actual gay and bisexual men corrected her and took issue with her takes, she just blocked them.
I have something to say about that con pic, though.
Sorry, go
This
back.
is very important. Cons are where you can be cringe. Like, we were talking earlier about hitting people with yaoi paddles. Don't do that without consent of the other person. But like, people just having fun with their friends in cosplay, that's what the con was for.
Yeah, it's for sincere enjoyment of your dorky thing.
I love cons. I love cons. I love seeing people enjoy things wholeheartedly.
Yes,
And
agreed.
just having fun. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with these kids just dancing around each other in costume. It's precious.
I mean,
Yeah, like, it's come... I don't know, like, maybe I'm just fucking old now and I don't get it, but ironically wishing death on someone, like, quote-unquote ironically.
yeah.
Like, I guess the humor stems from the fact that you don't actually want to murder these kids. I don't know. But even when things were cringe back in my day, you were just like, ha, what a loser. Not like, I want to annihilate these people from the face of the earth.
that was when
Like, do I just not get it? Am I just too fucking old to get this Zoomer anti-humor?
it's not funny, it's not cute, so like maybe tone it down.
And here's one. This one's really brief, but it brings up another point that I see in anti-ism. Just a tweet with 7,000 likes that says, don't sexualize characters who have been, in the canon of their narrative, exposed to, like, sexualized trauma. Which is a really insidious message to send to people who have had sexualized trauma
Yeah.
Meaning that they can then never wholly embrace their sexuality and have a healthy sexual experience, and that part of them is broken forever.
Love hearing that. So, on the 24th of August is when the Among Us discourse starts.
Oh, what?
There was Among Us discourse?
Fucking
You guys haven't heard about the Among Us discourse?
no! Oh my god, tell us.
Okay. So, Among Us, the little people,
Little beans.
Yeah.
they're small,
Yeah.
which makes them children, which means any porn you draw of them or write of is child porn.
But they...
Because they're small. They're little tiny bean people.
Do we know if they're human?
Nope.
Like, what if they're just a race of aliens who are tiny?
But everything fits them in the
Pedophilia.
ship.
Yeah, everything fits them, because, like, the ship is designed for people that... Is this like a Lord of the Flies ship?
Why are there children on the spaceship?
Why are there only children on the spaceship?
Children that also have the itsy bitsy mini children. Those are technically classified in the game under pet.
Yes,
So children are pets?
that's true, they are. But also a hat.
Problematic. Like, I know it's not, because I've encountered this too often now. That feels like trolling.
That has to
Like,
be. That's
that
not
feels
even
like someone
real.
who tried to take anti-rhetoric to its, like, most farcical extreme and see how many people they could get to genuinely agree with them.
Because, yeah, they're little beans. They don't even have arms.
But, like,
they're
are
not people.
Are they entrusted in operating the whole spaceship by themselves without adult supervision?
Yeah.
Is that why it's falling apart so bad?
Probably.
Okay, question. If that's the case, why are they not screaming at the developers of Among Us for having graphic child murder be the functional mechanic of their game? Because they're stabbed and decapitated and shot in the face. Maybe that is hashtag problematic.
It doesn't make... No, this is stupid. They don't even have arms. They're not people.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Oh boy, what a year it's been.
I just assumed they were little aliens of
What
some
a
kind.
year.
On the 5th of October, that's when the Hannibal drama happened.
Yeah.
Brian Fuller liked some not safe for work fan art and everybody lost their fucking mind.
They
was-
sure did.
He was very sweet to the creator because didn't he say something like, "This is beautiful"?
Yeah, something like that.
It was so cute.
And, like, specifically because this artist had done a, like, straight-up bestiality interspecies artwork that was based on Leda and the Swan. Which, for those who aren't aware, is a classical Greek myth wherein Zeus, big steal your girl daddy Zeus, ascends down to Earth, or descends, I guess, in the form of a swan, and fucks this woman named Leda. And
She is down.
she then gives birth to eggs.
Yeah.
One of them is Helen of Troy. One of her children is Helen of Troy.
Yeah.
And yeah, go Google it, and you'll find a whole bunch of very famous Renaissance and Baroque paintings and sculptures of this woman fully engaged in sexual intercourse, happily, with a swan.
Yeah.
It's actually one of Leonardo da Vinci's famous lost paintings. It exists in copies by other artists, but the original by da Vinci doesn't exist.
The 14th, the Cookie Run fandom, which Cookie Run is what, that game? It's not a cartoon.
I
It's
have
a game.
no idea.
Cookie Run. It's an app. It's just a game. And apparently the game team apologizes for describing a character as wearing a sexy cat costume. Now this character is 100% just a gingerbread man with a cat tail and ears. So...
They were being
Is
funny.
it sexy?
No! But apparently they got enough accusations of being pedophiles that they had to apologize.
See, this is dangerous.
Was it an underage
cookie?
gingerbread man?
I guess.
Was it a gingerbread boy?
Was it a gingerbread
Well, it's
child?
a boy. I don't know if it's a child. It just looks like a little gingerbread man. Gingerbrave is a whole child. You're kidding me right now. He's a child. Why are you implying that you're sexualizing a child?
He's a cookie.
He's a cookie. I don't know if he's a child. Like, it's a cookie.
That canon in the Cookie Run extended universe?
Well, I don't understand. Like, obviously, this is another thing where I'm like, you bitches are trolling. But, like...
Okay, well, so the dev team's response was, I posted this image with a wording that made many of you feel uncomfortable. Trying to debate the whys and hows I thought it was okay seems like missing the point. So I just want to say I'm sorry. I think the image itself is cute and funny, so I'm reposting without the comment. Which sounds like a big ol', you guys are fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they
is.
fucking are. It's a cookie.
Good for you, Cookie Run team.
And if you find anything sexual about a cookie, I mean, I don't really think you're worried about the standards of polite society.
I'm worried about you. I'm worried about people who are like this.
Do you guys remember the Cusco and Pacha fan art?
Yes!
Yes!
Oh my god, that was good. Oh.
Man, that art was beautiful, though. Shout out to that artist. Fucking gorgeous.
On the 22nd of October, ship fan art of Cusco and Pacha from The Emperor's New Groove makes its rounds on Twitter. Soon the ship gets some accusations of pedophilia because the age gap. Cusco is 18 and Pacha is 45.
For the record, the art is safe for work.
Yeah.
It is not porn.
Not explicit at all.
It
Nobody's
is,
even shirtless.
Everyone is fully clothed. The movie opens with him, like, choosing a mail-order bride.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
he's clearly old enough to fuck.
Yeah. It just doesn't really make any sense. I just don't get it. I just don't understand what these people are mad about.
Everything. They're mad about everything.
You can argue, I guess, that maybe it's an uncomfortable age difference, but that is not
For you.
tautologically the same as pedophilia.
No. If you're uncomfortable with the age gap, move on with your life. Block the artist, I guess.
Some of us dream of fucking a 45-year-old man.
Some of us dream of fucking John Goodman. Like, really, really a lot.
Hey,
Some of us.
hypothetically, that person is offended by that.
No, I'm talking for myself as well. I mean, come on.
Listen, I got called out earlier this week for saying I'd fuck Jack Black. So, the fact that I would fuck John Goodman, everybody else can just go and jump in the lake. Like, get over it. The 23rd is the start of the animatic...
The Animaniacs
It's the
shit.
start of the Animaniacs age discourse.
Oh my god. That's another one.
Yep.
That porn of those characters has been around since the 90s. I mean,
they're also dog people.
they're dog people,
Yep.
and they're not real.
Oh man, did we talk about the Ace Attorney fandom secret pro shipper document?
No.
Okay, so I think this was in November. On the 5th of November, an insane thing happens. There is a case of espionage in the Attorney Ace fandom, where an auntie undercover goes into, like, a Phoenix Wright Discord server, pro-ship Discord server, to gather, like, names and data about people, and then publishes it in a big Google Doc.
Wow. I totally thought when you said a case of espionage, I thought you meant, like, within Ace Attorney.
Oh,
Like-
no.
And I was like, oh, that sounds like a fun new way of playing the game. Oh, it's interesting.
No, they literally, like, just doxed a whole bunch of people in this Discord server because they shipped, I don't know what they shipped, but something in Ace Attorney, again, where there are no children to my knowledge. Like, they're all lawyers and shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all adults.
Well, I think the young girl is, like, late teens in the first game.
Yeah.
So I got to the end of the document. Those are all the ones I thought were in.
The actual weird, like, list of undesirables was weird to me, but
That is weird.
Yeah.
That feels a little bit McCarthyan.
yeah.
Y'all have got to stop
Yeah.
making lists of people who you deem are bad and sharing them with other people. This is a crime. This is not cool, y'all. We had a whole war about it, sort of. It was cold.
God damn it. Do y'all have any last minute additions to the discourse list you'd want to put in? Because I definitely would have mentioned the Has-Been Hotel's 1-year anniversary discourse.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, I don't know if that was technically, like, anti-behavior, though. That was just a ship war.
I don't know. Once you start suicide baiting people because you have deemed them morally reprehensible, then I think it's anti-behavior.
Yeah,
Possibly.
that sounds a bit anti-ish.
I mean, those were kind of the big ones.
I mean, there's a ton of drama that happened this year in the YouTube fandom that none of this covers, and that's fine. That's its whole separate thing, man.
I wanted to talk about this one, so there's, like, a Hannibal Confessions Twitter.
Oh, right, yeah.
So the concept is, this is kind of comes from, like, Post Secret on LJ and stuff, but the concept is you send in, like, your unpopular opinions or your hot takes to this Twitter, and they will post them anonymously. And one of them posted that, like, my main account is all anti-rhetoric and I follow a lot of antis, but really I agree with pro-shippers. And I'm too scared to leave.
My God.
And a lot of pro-shippers were like, if you feel comfortable, like, please DM us. Like, we know it's uncomfortable, or we know it's hard and scary to leave an insular group. Like, that's how they function, and that's how they compel loyalty, and that's how they compel compliance, like, through their behavior.
It's a cult.
And then all of the antis retweeted it, like, please die, like, block me, like, I hope you choke, like, you know, all of this stuff. So that was, again, I'm not in the Hannibal fandom, but it's kind of weird that there are antis for a fandom where the main character is a cannibal serial killer.
Like, it seems like antis choose the fandoms with the most problematic content.
Like, with the most fucked up premise. Yeah.
Because there are antis in the killing stalking fandom. There is nothing healthy about killing stalking in any way.
The antis have taken over Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. They're apparently in South Park.
Apparently, yeah. Why? I don't really understand. This seems like it's not fun for you.
Yeah, like, are you enjoying yourself? Are you enjoying your time? Like, this is your free time, man. You get to spend it doing what makes you the most happy.
Yeah, maybe you should go back to watching Blue's Clues for a couple of years.
Or, I mean, like, go back to Steven Universe. Like, that was just a fandom of antis.
Don't go back to Steven Universe. They fucking tried to kill people. Don't. Stop trying to kill people. Stop trying to suicide bait people.
Just group together in one fandom and left everybody else alone. That'd be fine.
Make your own show where everything is good and safe and okay. But, like, yeah, just make your own fandom. Have fun over there. Like, remember fun? I bet you do. I bet it was, I bet it was not that long ago that you had fun.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I was, like, saving to the end. This year feels like it's been an insane year for fandom and anti-behavior and in general. And part of me thinks that this might be due to the fact that everyone has been trapped inside, and especially in America, where the government has really, really fucked up the response to COVID-19 virus. And, like, maybe it's just the fact that people have more time to devote to this sort of nonsense. Like, everyone's really bored.
And frustrated.
And angry. And this is a, like, quote-unquote harmless direction to aim that anger in. Like, it's not. But people think that the internet isn't real, and you can just do whatever you want on there, and it's harmless. Mm-hmm. And, like...
Except for when other people are doing
Yeah, except for when other people do things on the internet that I don't like. Then it's a crime. Then it's a war crime. Yeah, I wonder how much of this anger and how much of this just, like, insane, insular one-upping of one another is due to that.
Fair.
I think that's actually really insightful.
Thank you.
I hadn't really considered that.
That is very insightful, and it is fair, but I need people to know people on the internet are real. Not the characters, not the ones that are in the TV shows and they're not real, but whoever you're talking to is a real person, and they have feelings, and they're also going through a shitty year. And chances could be a worse year than you. Lots of people died from this virus. Lots of people died from other things. Suicide is on the rise, and you guys need to chill out. If you want to be angry, write a story and kill all the characters in it.
Take up boxing.
Just create a Sims and put him in a pool and take the ladder away and watch him drown.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do.
That was so cathartic for me. Just kill the Sims. Just
Go chop some firewood.
Something else. Because
Masturbate.
you are the problem. If you are the one arguing with people about how they are wrong to ship fictional characters and how they should kill themselves, or how you think that if you had the chance you would kill them, that's not healthy, it's not harmless, you are hurting people.
Bad take, Courtney.
Just stop it. Stop directing hate at people.
Join an actual charity that works to end child abuse or
That
help
would be
victims
nice.
of child abuse.
Yeah.
Become a victims advocate.
Take a class on fucking psychology. Do that.
Domestic abuse advocate. Fucking, queer homelessness. Just so many positive directions to aim all of this anger, because the world's really fucked up right now and super on fire, and a lot of people are hurting and in need of assistance. And if you have the time and energy to devote to sustained campaigns of suicide threats and violence and harassment and doxing, maybe redirect that energy somewhere more worthwhile.
Yeah.
I think that's lovely.
Yeah. This ain't it, Chief, as they say on the Twitters.
It's been a full ass year, y'all, and going into 2021, it's not going to get immediately better, which I'm sorry, I know a lot of people hate to hear, but it's not. That's just not realistic. Perhaps we could all, this sounds very mean girls, but perhaps we could all just endeavor to be a little kinder to each other this year, because I think we're all really stressed out. Every month just keeps getting more and more stressful. So take a minute, breathe, put your phone down, walk away, take up a new hobby. Let's keep pushing forward. And yeah, something. Anyway, if you guys had other discourse that you feel like we missed, please hit us up online. We are on Twitter and Instagram at Blissfully Show. And there's a link to our YouTube channel there for y'all to find. Until next time, bye!
Bye. I hope.
I hope. Just knowing that people are out there in the world butt fucking upsets them.